Hello everyone and welcome back to another Hookster Talks. Well, this week it's been another boring week of F1 car launches. Yes, it started with the Alfa Tauri. And then of course we had the Alfa Romeo. Oh look, it's another tube of toothpaste. Fantastic. Well, I hope that the Alpine car is at least going to show a different livery. Otherwise, that's going to be 3 cars that start with A that are pretty much going to be carbon copies of last year's season. Well, almost. Anyway. And Gene Huss today has come out with a statement. Wowzers. Yes, he believes Mercedes have killed what Formula 1 is all about. Strong words indeed from Mr. Huss, because their dominance has made the sport boring. The American is preparing to see his self-named team contest their 6th F1 season, but after a promising first few years, they have slipped to the back of the pack. Finances have become a major issue for Huss F1, to the point where they decided not to update their 2020 car for economic reasons as a result of the health pandemic. While drivers Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen were sacrificed at the end of last year to make way for commercially effective rookies Mick Schumacher and Nikita Marzipan. Strong words indeed from Mr. Huss. Well, what do you think? Well, I think if you want to get a little bit faster, Gene, then make better cars, mate. Make better cars and stop nicking all your parts from Ferrari. That would sort of help, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm just not... It's a very strange sort of statement to come out with, because it's sort of how everyone knows that's how it's going, that Mercedes are destroying the sport. So why would he suddenly come out to say that? It's very, very strange indeed. Anyway... There you go. There is a statement. What do you think? Let me know in the comments about what Gene is saying and whether he's correct or not. And do you think he made the right decision in getting rid of both his drivers? Personally, I don't think he did. No, because both those new rookies now have to start from the bottom and work their way up. And that's not the way you want to do it. You need continuity in any team to keep yourself going. And this is not going to happen. So I think it's going to be another 3 or 4 years before Huss can even start to get into the midfield, and by that time, and judging by what Gene is saying, I think he's going to be thoroughly fed up by then and probably leave the sport. Anyway, that's pretty much all the F1 news for this week, so I'm going to go on to my next topic, which is on the title of the thumbnail of this video, and is of course the PlayStation 5. Well, this channel is F1 Games PlayStation, so it's inevitable in the end that I was going to talk about the PlayStation 5. And oh my god, Sony, what the hell have you done? Apparently, the new DualSense controller with the haptic triggers and all that other bullshit lasts on average about 417 hours, which, if you game for 4 hours a day, is about 100 days. Yes, it's got the controller drift issue that has plagued quite a few consoles, including the Switch, I do believe, which had a class action lawsuit against it. And guess what? Now so has the PlayStation 5. This is just unbelievable. This whole PlayStation 5 fiasco has just been that from start to finish. A complete fiasco. Nobody can get hold of one. We've got scalpers selling them for Jesus Christ knows how much money. 1,500 quid sometimes. And it's just... And the actual console itself, well, where's the games? There's no games for it. So why did you bring it out so early? You should have waited for a year. You should have built up the stock and the supplies so there was plenty for everyone, and then launched the console. This is just madness from Sony. Now look at this, everyone. I'm going to show you this, okay? This is my original PlayStation controller. This was bought with the console in, I think, 1996, possibly 96. I didn't get a PlayStation straight away, so yes, 1996. Okay, yep. There's no analogs on this. Nothing. This is the controller that you got with the console. So you think of the age of this. This still works perfectly. All the buttons work, including the start button, which was one of the ones that failed the most. It works perfectly. And can you imagine how many hours I've played on this Crash Bandicoot? This has got at least 10,000 hours on Crash Bandicoot, the first one. I know that for a fact, okay? Because I just mashed that one to death. And it still works, Sony. It still works perfectly because there's nothing wrong with the design. So what the hell are you playing at? We don't need all this haptic trigger shit, okay? A controller is a controller. Okay, you're not going to be able to make it as good as like a steering wheel or anything like that. It's never going to happen. We just need a controller. Who in the comments would rather have a controller that works or one with haptic triggers on and all that other bullshit and everything else? I think everyone's going to say they'd rather have a controller that works, and this works. This is the classic design and it works. I mean, it's pretty much unchanged on the PS5. It still looks very much like this anyway. But yes, this is the design. And I'm still using this after 20 odd years. Never been replaced, Sony. Never been replaced. Not 417 hours. 25 years. What the hell are you playing at? And why would you bring out a console where to upgrade it, the technology or the resources or I don't know what, it's just lost on me, isn't even available yet? So you can't upgrade it. You get 666 gig of storage internally, and that's it. And it can't be upgraded yet because, people haven't bought out the SSDs that are required because they're a special SSD. Why are they a special SSD? I'm sorry, Sony. You fucked up. You really fucked up. The launch was pretty much a disaster. Nobody is talking about the PlayStation 5 except scalpers who are trying to sell them for an exorbitant price. But apart from that, nobody's talking about it. And there's no games anyway. No. Where are all the games? Nowhere. So you should have just brought it out at the end of this year, shouldn't you? Made sure you built the stock up. I know there's a shortage of silicon chips for the console, so that's why you shouldn't have brought it out last year. You should have waited, got stock for everyone, brought it out, made sure there was at least 25 launch games at launch. At least 25, because that's what you need for these days, because everyone wants lots of choice in their games. Racing, action adventure. At least 25 games ready for release at the launch of this console, and then everything would have been fine. But I'll tell you what, Sony, this is going to be disastrous for you. Disastrous, the same as your PS3 launch, which, if anyone remembers, was an absolute disaster. £425 was how much the PS3 was in the UK at launch, and it basically almost destroyed the console, because the Xbox just came in and swooped Sony and pushed them to one side for years before they eventually managed to catch up. But by the time they did catch up, it was almost the end of the PS3 life cycle, and they had to go on to the PS4. The PS4 launch was fine. What was it, $299, $399? I can't remember now, but it was an absolutely great launch for the PS4. So what the hell happened? Can you only launch a good console every other time, or what? I just don't get it. But this Sony could be disastrous for PlayStation 5. You will be able to get this back, but it's going to take you years. And of course, the other problem is, because you are basically selling these consoles at a loss, the price isn't going to come down now for what? 3 years? At least 3 years. So if anyone's sort of hanging on and saying, oh, I'll wait till the price comes down, I wouldn't bother. Because by the time the price does come down, this system may be obsolete. It may be obsolete because don't forget, of course, they brought out the PlayStation Pro. PlayStation 4 Pro. Yes, which was 4 years into the console life. So they may actually do this with this console as well. And so it's already going to be obsolete by the time anyone can afford to buy one. Oh my God. Anyway, that's my Sony rant over. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And yes, I'm just so annoyed with Sony right now. As anyone knows, I am a Sony fanboy, 100%. I've had them all. I've got all the consoles, and I will continue to love Sony till the day I pop off the planet. But Sony, when you make mistakes, you just really, really do make mistakes. Yes. This is what we need. This is what we need. We need a console that's available to everyone to get rid of all the scalpers, okay? We need a way of storing our games externally. An SSD. Come on. Surely an SSD is fast enough to run PS5 games. If it's not, then just an SSD that will work for storage, and then we can just transfer the games into the internal storage of the machine. That's got to be better than what we've got now, which is basically nothing. Yes, nothing. 666 onboard storage, which, it's an 825 gig, but of course you've got all the, you've got the operating system of the PS5, which takes up a hell of a lot of memory. far more than the PS4 ever used to take up. So yeah, you've got very, very little storage. So yes, a standard SSD. And that special SSD expansion that's inside the PS5, that was such a mistake to do, Sony. Such a mistake, because the technology is just too new. All we needed inside was a standard SSD. You can't tell me that these games are so brilliantly fast that an SSD can't handle it. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. It was just you trying to do the latest technology. And it's just completely blown back into your face now, because this could be a disaster for the PlayStation 5. Anyway, I hope it all gets okay in the end, and we're all in about 2 years' time all playing our PS5s, and it's all brilliant and lovely. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, that's enough for me. I just thought I'd get that out of the way, because it's been building now. It's been building. So yes, thanks for watching, everyone, and there will of course be another video later.